Alright guys, so this video series is a special one. It's a long time coming. It was actually filmed back in 2020, so it's been 2 years now that this video has been in development, trying to figure out the right time, place, and way to edit it and everything about that. So this is an incredibly important video series to not only me, but the people involved. So back in 2020, I was lucky enough to meet Rod Olmstead, and he was kind enough to actually let me not only tour, but document the property of his father, who had amassed this amazing collection of classic Ford parts and products, and a bunch of incredibly rare vehicles over his lifetime of building and restoring classic cars. This is a private collection in an undisclosed location, and all these vehicles have now been reallocated and the property has been sold. Within this video, we'll go over a bunch of the different vehicles on the property as well as all the parts and pieces, and it's actually where the front fenders for this car actually came from. With that being said, I hope you guys go on to enjoy this video. Leave a like on it if you do. It would really mean a lot to me. I've spent 2 years developing this video series. So being it's been filmed back in 2020, there's going to be no mullet and mustache grid. It's going to be a little bit different looking, so it might be a little weird at first, but I guarantee you it's worth a watch. So with that being said, I hope you guys go on to like the video, subscribe if you are new. You are not going to want to miss the future videos that come out of the series as well as the cars. This video is also a tribute to Rod's dad, Jerry, who without him, none of these parts, nor pieces, nor vehicles would be available to anyone, and this entire video series would have never happened. Subscribe if you are new. And with that being said, let's get into today's video series. You are not going to want to miss it. Alright guys, so I'm starting off the video outside. This is going to be one of my favorite videos. I love digging through this stuff. So my good friend Rod has actually let me kind of tour this place to document it. It's one of my most important jobs that I want to make sure I get every aspect in detail. So we're going to cover this video in 2 to 3, maybe more parts, starting with the outside. And as you can see behind me, there's a massive warehouse building right there that we'll go into in a lot of depth. Like first person, we'll have multiple cameras. It'll be a very, very in-depth video because it deserves it. We're going to start outside kind of walking through. You can see there's a bunch of cars around me. We're gonna go from A to B and just kind of go through everything that he still has. There were a lot more cars. There was probably twice as many cars as there were now. They're moving everything. So we're gonna go through a little bit here by here and see what we can find. Are you like me and you kind of do a lot of body work all the time outside? You're working with air tools, you're working with the air compressor, and you hear your compressor go on and off 300,000 times because your air tools are not efficient enough to run. Well, lucky enough for you, that's where Blaster's air tool lubricant comes into play. This is a product I've been using for quite some time now. As you guys know, I've been working on the body work on this Galaxy for a long time. And the one thing that makes not only the air last on the compressor a lot longer, but my tools last a lot longer is making sure everything's lubricated. Just like the oil in your car, your tools need to be lubricated as well to make sure they last for an efficient amount of time. You can use this stuff on all sorts of different tools. It's not just regular air tools, but anything with a moving air part, you want to make sure you use this stuff to make sure you get your money's worth out of it and make sure it lasts for a long, long time. So one of the tools I'll use all the time is this 90-degree air sander. This is one of those tools I'll just clip it in, go at it, use it. And because it sees a high RPM for a long amount of time, the one thing you'll notice is this thing over time will become less and less efficient. So as you can see when I clip this in right now, it seems like it has a pretty smooth higher RPM, but I can feel a gnarly kind of vibration within it. And this thing is dry. I know it's dry. So just like it says on the bottle, I'm gonna pour approximately a ½ ounce into the supply fitting on the tool. Go ahead and crack this open. Should be good enough. Clip it back on. You hear the RPM is not only higher, but it's definitely a lot smoother. On top of that, it won't just immediately come to a stop because all the bearings and all the machinery inside the tool is getting lubricated. It will stay more efficient and will create significantly less drag within the tool, which meaning you use less air within the compressor. But the last thing you want to do is listen to your compressor all day. And you can use this on virtually any air tool that has a moving part within it. Blaster's been the #1 selling penetrant since 1957, and you'd be blown away with the amount of products that they've developed since then. I'll leave a link down in the description of this video with the products, and I highly recommend go checking them out. From garage door lubricants to penetrants, the surface shield for your car in the salt and the winter, Blaster makes a product that will suit your needs. So that being said, I hope you guys go on to try the air tool lubricant for yourself. Also wanted to thank Blaster for working with me in today's video, and let's get back into it. Alright guys, so this whole entire property is very, very special, and I wanted to kind of document it as best as I can, going through each and every car. So this is my good friend Rod and Julie's father's property, Jerry, and he's actually collected all this stuff through his entire lifetime. So we're gonna go through an entire lifetime collection and show you kind of what it looks like and what kind of special cars are in this place. So this is my good friend Rod. Rod, you know, nice to meet you. Thank you a ton for allowing me to come in here and share this with everybody. So we'll kind of just go through and just kind of tell me like what each car, you know, is or why. Like, what is this place? What are we here? Like, what are we looking at?
This is my parents' house. My dad had a restoration shop for 47 years, which is as old as I am, so I grew up doing this. Anyway, this is we're at his property here, and where all the cars that he's just collected over the years. You know, everybody thinks they can finish all their projects, and you know, he just thought I guess he just thought he was going to live forever because he's got more projects than 5 lifetimes.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, kind of just walking through, I mean, so you got parts cars, you have special, you know, VIN coded cars. So I guess we can kind of just start along here. I mean, anything you want to kind of, you know, state at the property itself before we get started.
Well, it was 8 acres. They bought it before well, I was about 2 years old. So I've lived here my whole life, with the exception, you know, when I moved out, of course, to start my own life, you know, but they've owned the property here, I want to say 49 years.
Wow.
So this was their primary home. I had the bedroom right behind us on the 2nd floor, and my whole life I looked out over about 30 cars. You know, so there was it seemed like it was a junkyard, but it's in my blood too. Sadly, my father passed away 5 years ago. So anyway, we sold the property for my mom. My mom moved back east with me, and so now we're trying to clean it out for her.
Yeah,
so,
kind of help everything out as best you can. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, you're a good man for doing that. So let's kind of walk through some of the cars.
Sure.
So I guess we'll start with, you know, one of my favorites. I got 2 of these cars. You guys know that. So this is a 64 Galaxy. You know, tell me what this car is. So it looks like it's an XL. It's got bucket seats. So I'm assuming this was like some sort of a parts car.
Yeah, we're using this as a parts car. I've got a 64 also. It was my father's. It's an R code 427 convertible 4-speed car. And I'm sure my dad used this to, you know, was going to use this for parts for that car as well, you know, considering it was an XL because of the bucket seats and such like that. In his shop, he sold parts too, so, you know, he kept parts here that he would, you know, pull off when somebody needed a fender like you.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, exactly.
He'd pull them off and, you know, sell them to him, so.
Because you guys had a restoration like parts shop, right?
Correct.
So,
Yeah. He had that for 47 years.
Yeah. So a lot of these parts were accumulated so he can sell them to customers through his business.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's really cool.
Storage buildings are expensive. He had the 8 acres up here, so he just kept them up here.
Yeah. Gotcha. That makes sense.
And my mom just had to put up with it.
Yeah. Business got to make a living somehow.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, this is a cool one. It looks like it was wrecked. Do you have any idea how it was wrecked?
You know, I don't know. From what I remember, I think a tree fell on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's definitely what it looks like.
Right.
Something fell on it for sure.
Yeah, something definitely. But it's not curved like a tree, but I was told the tree fell on it.
Yeah, branches and everything. Yeah. It's kind of gnarly to see a car like this, you know, wrecked. You don't see too many of these cars to begin with, but seeing one that's all smashed in the back is something else. Yeah. But yeah, definitely a special car. This one looks like it's a small block, automatic. What was it? Bucket seat console car. Yep. So it's definitely a cool one. But yeah, I guess we'll kind of just go from car to car. So what's this? This is a T-Bird, right?
63.
Yeah.
63 Thunderbird convertible.
Yeah.
I think they were using that as a parts car too. My sister had a Roadster. One of the Roadsters had the tonneau cover over the back seat, and a 63 also. A lot of the convertible parts are hard to come by. Yep. You know, like the deck lid, the package tray, flipper lid, you know, hinges and stuff like that. But the rest of the car is pretty much the same. This one's pretty special. There's 2 of these. So there's a red one, and then there's a black one over there, which we'll get into. So these are pretty special cars. So just kind of tell me like what's special about this car specifically in terms of packaging. This one here's a Q code car, which is a 428 COBRA jet car. It's a 69 Torino fastback. Yep. This one here is a 4-speed car. You can tell it's a 4-speed car because of the hole where the upper clutch rod would come through the pedal assembly. Yeah. And being a Q code 428 car, this one here, motor and obviously tranny were taken out at some point. I think my dad got the car like this and of course planned to build it. Yep. So. Cool. And then I know this is a Ford property, but we have some Mopar action, and I was always curious about what these cars were. So it looks like they're almost twins. Yeah, almost twins. One's a 65, one's a 66, and one's a convertible. When my mom and dad met, my dad did Fords and my mom had a Plymouth. She had a Roadrunner, but my dad built her a 69 Plymouth Roadrunner convertible for Christmas one year in his shop, and told her that he was building it for a customer, and always had that customer come in, act like it was his car and get ideas from her. Oh, gotcha. She would spill her guts and, if it was my car, I'd have brown interior. Yeah, so it's got brown interior. So that's how he got his pointers as to how to build it for her. And then we gave it to her for Christmas one year with a big old red bow around it. Anyway, so he was going to build the convertible for her, being we're in California. Yep. Always got to have a drop top, and he was going to use, just parts out of this one for that one. Got it. Okay.
So over in the back, I was noticing this. This looks like it might be what looks like a 64 Galaxy, but I almost wasn't sure what I was looking at. I couldn't tell if it was a convertible or a hardtop until I saw the roof cut off.
Yeah. So I think they cut off the roof because my dad sold it to somebody.
Oh yeah.
The guy had a car with a rusty roof, and man, this car has been here as long as I can remember. This car's been here, had to be at least 30 years.
Yeah, you can tell this thing's been here for quite a long time, being it's like almost halfway up the rim.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's still, even as it sits, there's a lot of good parts. I mean, you got the horn ring just chilling out here. I've seen a couple of those. I think I have like 3 or 4 of those myself, and you know, there's still always good parts on these things that had decent quarters, you know. I mean,
there's not too much rust in the quarters.
Yeah, so definitely good stuff. I can definitely see why he kept it as a parts car. It's always a nice thing to have. I mean, I have a couple, but mine aren't this cut up. But
another FE motor never hurts.
Yeah, no, seriously. And then you know, you can kind of see there's actually some cars in these trees too. So it just kind of, as you go, you just keep finding more and more stuff. So we're gonna kind of tackle what's in the trees real quick. So what do we have hiding in the tree? I know this is kind of going to be interesting to get into, but you know, Comet, Fairlane.
67 Fairlane.
Yeah.
Just a 2-door hardtop car.
Yeah.
Again, front end was taken off for some reason. It's got motor and training and such like that in it. Missing the passenger door, but I don't know if they sold it or.
Yeah.
But it was obviously shoved back in under this pepper tree, and it's been there for forever because there's probably 10 or 12 inches of leaves on top of it.
And this one specifically, it looked like it was a big block automatic with air conditioning.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah, and it's kind of a cool color too.
Yeah, there was another one sitting here next to it. It was a 66 Fairlane. I pulled this out the last time I was here. It was a big block 4-speed 66.
Gotcha.
I took that one back home to see if I could have time in my lifespan. To build it.
Tinker with it. Yep. Kind of next to that, it looks like we got another Thunderbird.
Yeah, another 63 Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Convertible. Another worthy of building, you know.
Yeah, convertible. Yeah, I was looking at the interior in this car. Is actually, I mean, they're phenomenally good looking interiors. You know, the dash kind of wraps around and everything. But it's also convertible, so it's definitely a cool car for sure, and it looks pretty complete.
Yeah, it was. Let's see, I like the interior in these. They got the three individual pod cages, where the 64 kind of wraps around too, but yeah, 63s are definitely a good year. The nose dips down. You know, they're not as squared. They look kind of more like a spaceship.
Yeah, space race car for sure. And then it looks like right in front of it we got another Torino. So this one 68.
68, not a fastback, obviously. It's a formal roof car.
Yep.
But it's a really complete original car. It's a small block with air, and interior is just really complete on it too.
Yeah, this whole car is pretty complete. You know, the only thing that doesn't look like it's original is the one wheel.
Yeah.
You know, it's got all the caps on the other side too.
Yeah, they have caps on them.
Yeah, and it looks pretty rust free for the most part also, which is great. But yeah, that's definitely a cool one too. So here's our other special car that I noticed. So this is another Torino GT fastback, right? This is a 68 as well, or this one was a 69? This one's a 69.
69. Yeah, it's the same thing as the red one over there. It's a 69 Torino. It's an R code car.
Yeah.
Which is the difference between the Q code car and the R code car. Was the Q code car was just a 428 with a plain hood.
Yeah. Where
the R code was a 428 Cobra Jet car with a shaker.
Okay.
So it had the air cleaner sticking through the hood. And this car is it's an R code car, but it's a 428 Cobra Jet, but it's an automatic car.
Yeah.
The other one was a 4-speed.
So this one's probably the highest tier you could possibly buy for this car, except it wasn't a 4-speed.
Correct.
In terms of desirability.
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah. This body, I was looking at it. This one's like incredibly rust free. It looks like
the red one's got a little rust in it, but this one here is really pretty solid. I looked at the trunk floors and stuff. I even thought about taking this one back home too, but
yeah.
I've already shipped 30 cars. So.
Yeah. Yeah. But at least you got some parts cars next to it. You know, this Ranchero, pretty much everything on this would bolt on either of these Torinos for the most part, right?
One or that one.
Yeah.
This one's a Ranchero, but there are pieces and parts obviously that interchange.
Yeah. So you could, if you want, take their parts in the Ranchero and make one of the Torinos look like a complete car. Absolutely. As a rolling shell if you really wanted to. It's kind of the nice thing is a lot of these parts are interchangeable, especially in between like the 66 and 7 Fairlanes and the Torino Ranchero. Fastback. A lot of the parts are all the same, which is really nice.
Absolutely.
So right in front of that is there's the green 67 in the back, and then this is a 66, correct?
Yeah, this is a 66 Fairlane 2-door hardtop car. My dad bought it. I just found the paperwork this morning, which is crazy, but he bought it. It was listed as a race car. It looked like in the pictures that I saw it was a complete car, but I don't know what he was planning on doing with it. But on the property I think there was 6 or 7 66 and 7 Fairlanes. So
and they're all 2-door fastback cars?
Well, no one that we had.
Oh, you had one.
167 was a convertible.
Yeah. But this one's, it looked like it was a pretty phenomenal body. Minus there's like a little dent in the quarter, but other than that, everything else looks perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I even thought about just getting inside the trunk and just kind of pushing it out with my foot so the dent wasn't there.
Yeah, yeah, literally.
It looks like it's like a beer can will just pop out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but this one's
it's
cool.
really solid. The floors are solid, trunk's solid.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool one for sure. And then there's some twins. So I noticed these are pretty much almost the same car, same colors and everything. But so this is a '63 Ford Custom, right? Custom 500.
Custom 500.
Yeah.
The old police car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they used as the police cars.
Yeah, and the one thing I noticed about this car specifically is this has probably the nicest dash I've seen in any of these cars.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's a perfect dash.
Yeah.
And interior, all the gauges and everything are perfect still. The dash paint's flawless. You know, the door panels still look great. But yeah, the interior of this car is in immaculate shape, which is really great. And this is pretty much the same color as the two-door Galaxy next to it.
Right. Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't think they were using it as a parts car. I think he was gonna do something. You know, I think he actually wanted to make it into a police car.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because up here yesterday we actually found the siren for it that he had.
Yeah.
You know, that he was gonna use to mount on it.
Gotcha.
And I think he wanted to just make a kind of like a tribute police car.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, that makes sense.
60s highway patrol car.
Yeah, they're definitely cool. That would be really awesome though if he had the two-door right there.
Yeah.
And then the police car to chase it with. So that would definitely be a pair for sure.
Yeah.
So this one's almost the same thing. You know, it looked like they were both white factory white cars. This one's the white with the red interior. And this is just a 63, not a 63 and a half fastback. So this one's just I guess this is the coupe roof. Yeah.
Coopers.
And this one, I can't remember if this one was a 3 on the tree or if it was like a cruise-o-matic car. But
I want to say it's an automatic car. Yeah. It's just a yeah.
Yep. But this one had a flawless interior, and it looks like it's a pretty straight car for the most part. Honestly, if you got this thing power washed, you could probably polish this paint and it would look pretty cool if you're a patina guy.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, this one's definitely cool as well. Over here, this was I think one of the rarest cars down here, minus the R code cars. Right. And tell me what this one is, because I know a lot of people have never seen one of these in their life.
It's a '64 Mercury. You know, we call it the Breezeway because the back window actually has a motor and it slides up and down. So air would wrap around, you know, the roof and blow in as it like a breeze. The only missing part that I know of on this car, there's some damage on, you know, a couple of the molding stuff, but the only missing part that I know of on this car is that actual door molding. Yeah,
and I think I saw AC vents in this car as well.
Yeah, it does, and it has a 390 in it.
Yeah, so it's a big block with air conditioning and power windows and 64 as a Mercury. So this is a rare one for sure. I don't know what the plans were for it, but I can imagine this would have been one heck of a cruiser. A beach cruiser would have been great on this one for sure.
Yeah.
So awesome. And then I think on the other side there's one more Galaxy. You can just barely see it. I guess we'll walk over to the other side. So this one actually looks pretty complete and straight. Convertible. It just looked like it needed a new top for the most part, but got a parts frame report right there.
I've never taken the tarp off the front of it, so I don't know what the frame assembly was actually for, but somebody obviously had cut the frame and put it with the car. So I don't know if the frame in the front was rusty or if it got damaged or hit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like the wheel's not quite centered anymore, so I don't know if somebody crashed into it, but it's got a different front clip that's not bolted on either. So
yeah.
It's kind of hard to say, but you know, the frame looks like it's at an interesting angle, so it might have been wrecked, it might have been rusty, but you know, still nevertheless, it's still a 62 Galaxy convertible, so you know, it's still a pretty cool car for sure.
It's pretty solid though, so it'd be weird that the frame would rust out before, you know, the body.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, yeah, well, hopefully this one makes its way back onto the streets, you know, in the next 10 years or so.
Yeah.
But cool. Well, this is just a little bit, you know, there's still a lot to go through. We will cover that building up there in another video, but we're going to walk up and show you guys some of the more parts that are kind of to go with all of these cars. So we're kind of going to walk through the parts area. So this is, you know, there's a lot going on here, so we're going to try to explain it the best we can, but I guess starting from left to right, we'll kind of walk down and just tell me what this area is.
He built the area to kind of keep stuff out of the weather, you know. Built the shed, but it just overgrew, you know. I mean, tons of doors and sheet metal stuff, you know.
So I guess as we walk kind of down here, I mean, I see a whole front of a Mustang cut off under here, down under there. It's like that was a whole, you know, if somebody ever wrecked their car, they could get another one front end for it. It was at least fixable.
Right.
And then I saw there's like a pile of seats right here, and then convertible tops is what that looks like up there.
Yeah, that's probably, I guess there's probably 70 convertible top frames up in there.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I mean, it goes 10 feet long, 15 feet long. You know?
Oh yeah, it goes all all the way over there.
Over there.
Yeah, yeah.
They're probably 3, 4, 5 deep, you know.
Yeah, and then transmissions. These are all like what, Cruisematics and C4s and C6s and
C4s, Cruisematics.
These are all steering boxes.
Fortimaxes, yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah, those are. Look at that.
Pallets of them, yeah.
Yep, and then there's some power rams, and so this is all steering stuff, pallets of steering stuff. It's Fox Body T5 or S10 T5s for 5-speed swaps. There's some 3 and 4-speed stuff in there, transfer cases, more drum and brake assemblies. And it's kind of more of a transmission pile, it looks like.
Of course, under the pepper tree, because the pepper trees protect them.
Yeah, yeah, the most, yeah. All the bearings and seals, they're nice and protected. What was that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you can see the trailer. Look at the lights in the.
I was just gonna point that out, actually. Yeah, the front of it's got its own T-Bird lights. That's pretty cool.
It's a 5th wheel trailer that my dad actually built the trailer.
Yeah.
Because they used to show 55 to 7 Thunderbirds cross country.
Yeah.
You know, and he built this trailer to haul 2 55, 6 or 7 Thunderbirds, because that was his specialty.
So what better way?
He used 64 Thunderbird taillights as the brake lights in it.
That's pretty cool. That's definitely a nice touch for sure. He couldn't mistake his trailer, that's for sure. Cool. Well, we got a couple cars back here, so explain what this is, because it's kind of taken apart, but I know it has a special story for sure.
It's a hard one. My first car was a 57 Fairlane 2-door hardtop, and it was given to me by one of my good friends and my dad's very good friends, Mark. We built the car for me, for myself, obviously for my first car. Started on it when I was 12 and drove it for the first time to my graduation. Anyway, my dad always liked the car, and it was one of his favorite body styles was the 57, which outsold Chevy actually in 1957. Even though the Bel Air seemed to be more popular, but Ford actually outsold Chevy that year. But anyway, this car my dad was building for himself. And he was actively working on it. He put a Lincoln Versailles rear end in it, rear disc brakes. He did front disc brakes on it. He actually did a rack and pinion setup in it, and was doing body work and such like that. And we needed space in the building to move stuff around and get stuff out, so it ended up being pushed out here about a month and a half ago. But it's a special car for me because it was the same car my dad and I built for myself, and he was doing it for himself, and he was going to paint it exactly like my car. A red, white, red pattern, so that we could do things together,
That'd be cool, yeah.
So now that my dad's passed, I think I'm seriously considering shipping this car home and building it with my son, because he's 6 years old. And what a cool thing it would be for me to receive my first car from my dad's friend, and then my dad and I build it together. And I still have it. It's only got 11,000 miles on it, and I've had it. I'm 47, so
you have the finished version of this car still?
Yeah, I still have it, yeah.
That's awesome.
And I thought it'd be cool if I did take this car home, if my son was interested. I'm not going to force it on him, of course, but if he was interested, that we could build his grandfather's car, finish it, for him,
Hopefully for his graduation.
Him and I would have the same cars.
Yeah.
But it would be his grandfather's project.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah, then he can show you finished granddad's car, and your son gets to enjoy it, and you guys can both cruise around in similar cars and enjoy them. So.
Yeah, because my son loves cars, and we actually have my dad's 57 Fairlane convertible. It's totally restored. It's actually back east as well, which is one of my dad's favorite cars. And he was building, like I said, this one, and I think I might end up taking it.
Yeah, I hope you do. I mean, the only downfall is I think your son's gonna have a nicer car than you with the disc brakes and the rack and pinion setup.
Well, mine has disc. We put disc on it when I was 15 years old. We did a Granada changeover, even back then.
Yeah, years ago. Yeah, disc brake years ago.
Yeah, 32 years ago.
Yeah,
that's a long time but my dad had the foresight, and so he wanted obviously us safe, and
definitely made it happen for sure. Well, I hope you go on to do that. That would be a very special one for sure, and I can't wait to eventually see a photo of the two cars together. I know that would
be really cool. Yeah,
that would be special. It's definitely a solid body for sure.
Yeah, he was piling stuff in it. He wanted to customize it. He was going to use a 64 Thunderbird rear seat in it.
Oh,
where it wraps around.
Yeah.
And then he had a console in here that he was going to, a 59 Thunderbird console that he was going to try and obviously make fit. So he was just piling stuff inside the car that he knew that he wanted to use for it while he worked on the outside and the drivetrain.
Gotcha. Well, awesome. I hope you do choose to take this one, and hopefully you make some great memories with it, because that's definitely a cool one for sure, especially to have.
Yeah, you can see he had already done patchwork and stuff on it.
Yeah. So all the dirty work seems to be done.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Thank
nice.
God.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. And then behind it, is this a Galaxy?
Yeah, this is
67 Galaxy or so.
Yeah, I think it's 67. It's a Q code car too, which is a 428 car.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is. Yeah,
So, yeah,
right there.
It's a Q code car, and there was five of them on the property here.
Okay.
I think there's three.
There's a maroon one in the back, and there's another white one.
There's another white one, yeah. And then there's a green one, I think too. A 69 though.
Gotcha.
And then I took a 66 convertible Q code 428 car. I already shipped that back home.
So I'm assuming this was one of his parts cars.
Yeah, I think you actually bought the car like this, you know.
Yeah.
But being that it's a Q code car, it's a 428 car. They're desirable, but you know, I don't know what his plans were for it, because there was 5 of them here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I mean, your dad had a good eye for sure. I mean, there's a lot of Q and R code cars for sure, but if he got the car like this, he knew what he was buying.
Right.
For sure. You know, if nothing less, it was the VIN tag for sure, because he knew, why would you crush anything with the Q or an R code in it?
Yeah.
So
those are some of the things that make them, you know, obviously desirable.
Yeah, they're rare, and they only get rarer every day. So, you know, you've got doors and parts over here. So this is definitely the door area. So we kind of work with our sheet metal. So as you can see, like a little maze, you kind of go through here, and then they're all perfectly organized. Your dad had a great level of organization with this tagging. Thank God he did tag everything.
Yeah.
You know, it makes it incredibly easy. But as we walk in here, you know, you can see we got door on door on door, and it seems they're for the most part categorized. You know, you'll have Torinos, you know, in a certain spot, Mustang in a certain spot.
Yeah, it's like the Cougar row, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then there's these are 61s or 2s, I believe. But there's Cougars here. There's some Comet stuff down there. And behind you, some like these are 57 Fairlane, just like the black car there.
Yeah.
You know? Some 59s here, even some 57 4-doors and wagon stuff, you know.
Yeah, stuff you literally will not find again.
Yeah.
So it seems like you can have 6 doors, but if he's building a car, he wants the best out of those 6, and he'll keep getting them until he gets the nicest one. So he has the nicest to choose from.
Yeah, as you saw with those grills.
Yeah. There's a bunch of grills for sure, but yeah, everything's tagged, so he knows what it went to. You know, do you know what the red dot meant specifically?
I sprayed the red dot on those.
Okay.
Those are doors that I was going to take.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So those are ones that look like they're, you know, in better shape than some of the other ones. Got it. Yeah, but it was really cool when I was walking, not the passenger ones, but some of the driver door ones, just seeing some of the VIN tags. So like just kind of categorizing that every single one of these doors was once on a complete car.
Right. So
it's kind of cool to see, and it's nice that none of it was getting wasted.
If you know, I mean, if you look at how many doors are here, you can imagine how many cars my dad's parted out over.
The
last 50 years.
And he's been doing it since he was, you know, roughly how old?
19. Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. This is one heck of a lifetime collection. It's definitely something to brag about. This is impressive for sure. So you got inner fenders over there for cars which are impossible to find, you know, and for a lot of cars specifically. So he even saw an eye in that. And then you can see the massive amount of doors, and those are all like front valances and cowl areas, and
those are all cowl panels up there. And,
then you got some wheels and tire stuff. You know, these are all the doors, more and more doors.
Yeah, Mustang section here.
Yeah, I was noticing that. I mean, obviously the Mustang is more of a common, desirable, you know, body. So there's definitely a plethora of those to choose from. Looks like you got Ranchero trunks and stuff like that.
Yeah, 6970, some 67 8s, and more 65 and 6s.
Yep.
And a whole row of 65 6s down there.
Wow.
Bunch of tailgates. And
yeah, I mean, in California, it's rightfully so to have a bunch of Mustang stuff. These were almost purely Mustang fenders. I mean, there was a couple here and there that weren't, but I was noticing it's like a lot of Mustang specific stuff.
Yeah, these are 55 Ford, you know.
Yeah.
But he even saved gas tanks.
I was looking at that. Yeah, there was a whole pallet and pile.
He just stacked them, you know.
It's like you never know if you'll need it, you know. Even a Falcon door right there.
Yep.
So definitely a lot of cool stuff here. You know, if he needed something, he was not going to buy it. He would rather go in his backyard and pick it up himself.
That's right. Exactly.
But yeah, really cool for sure. That was top load of 3-speed out of like a trucker car. And then I was noticing there's a unibody F100 short bed bedside cut right there. You know, there's people that would look for that all day long, you know, because you can't buy the bed.
Right.
It's part of the cab. So that was really cool. You know, seeing different pieces and panels, whole roof right there. And just a little bit of everything. So, and this is just sheet metal specifically, and you know, there's more sheet metal inside too.
Yeah, there's a lot more inside.
All the nicer sheet metal would be inside. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you can see I got two panels over there. You know, hopefully picked out for my own car. But you know, as you kind of walk around, you can see we just brought this one out. This was your mother's car, correct?
This was my mom's car. There's a cool story behind this car. You know, she drove this one out when my sister and I were kids, and my dad, you know, he was a Thunderbird specialist. He was a CTCI judge. He was he was president of the Thunderbird Club. You can see in the grill, classic Thunderbird International emblem,
Yeah.
So the car used to obviously be a show car at one point, and so my mom used to drive this car when my sister and I were young. My mom actually, these cars have a finicky door latch where the doors just they tend to wear out, and the doors they won't close, or they fly open.
Yeah.
Well, my mom picked us up from school and took the car over to my dad's shop, and he supposedly fixed the door latch. We all left, and my mom was driving, my sister was in the middle, and I was at the door, and we went around the corner, and just like kids, you lean and you play as you're leaning as you go. Well, my sister and I leaned against the door as my mom was driving down the road. We went around the corner, and the door flew open, and I rolled out. We were doing, I don't know, 10 or 15 miles an hour. I think I was 4 years old and 5 years old, and I rolled out and rolled down the street. Man, my mom could have killed my dad that day.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
That's so. Everything's got a memory, but
yeah. So this one she's had for many, many years. It looks like it's in really good shape still too, which is awesome.
It's been sitting in the back of the building there. I want to say since the early 90s.
Yeah.
So
she just stopped driving it because she got another car. Or
yeah. Just too many projects, things. And something happened to it.
I was gonna say something minor, probably.
Yeah, something minor probably happened. My dad said, "Oh, just go drive the other car," and it just ended up. They put it in the back corner, and it just sat there, and just other cars got stacked in front of it.
Yeah.
But now my mom wanted me to get it out, and she, and I'll end up restoring it for her. You could see these bias ply tires on here. They used to be the old wide whites.
Yeah.
These tires have been on this car in the back there. Since these were probably the tires that were on the car when I fell out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And this car's been sitting in there since the early 90s. So you figure 30 years.
Some of them have been flat for at least 10 years.
They've been flat. Yeah, they've been flat for a long time. And we blew them up, and they've been holding air for a month.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Just shows that they had the quality back then.
A bias ply,
especially a bias ply.
Yeah, a bias ply will do that. You can, they're squirrely going down the road, but they last forever.
Yeah.
But you put the radials on there, they're only good for 10 years.
Yeah.
No matter what radial you have, after 10 years, the thing's junk.
Yep.
So see the wide whites on it. They're black now from. But
you can see where it still was for sure. Yeah, it was definitely right there. So this one hopefully will get cleaned up and your mom can drive it again.
Yeah, and new tires.
Yeah, hopefully the new tires.
That'll get radials.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a little nicer to drive. So like I said, we will go into the building in a separate video, but just look at the massive amounts of trim.
Yeah.
There probably isn't a piece of trim that wasn't acquired for a Ford in general from the years that your dad was specific to. It seems like this is just part of it. All the NOS stuff we got earlier was crazy, the amounts that were in there, but more sheet metal over here, and as you can see, it just transitions into more cars. So I guess we'll just kind of walk through this section real quick. So we know there's just some sheet metal and trim over here, but there's a couple special cars over here. I think this was what, 63 62 yeah, 62. A Galaxy, this one I think was another parts car, you said?
Yeah, this is a parts car. It's a small block car, but one of the cars that my dad, he didn't finish, but he had ready to go. It was shipped back 2 trips ago. It was a 62 Galaxy hardtop, just like this one, but it was a 406 tri-power 4-speed car.
Okay.
And he had all the body work done. It was in primer, and it sat inside his building here for 25 years on a 2-post lift. It just sat up there, and then he parked my sister's 68 fastback underneath it. And it just sat there for forever. But this was a parts car, and I'm gonna end up cutting the quarter panel off of this one. Quarter panel and taillight panel off of this one.
Yeah. Okay. It looks like in the back another was a 65 Galaxy there.
66.
66. Okay. And this one's pretty special, right? This one had a
another Q-code car.
Yeah, but this one's mostly complete for the most part.
Over there, yeah.
Oh, factory air, yeah, too. You're right. So this one is a 428 factory air conditioning. It looked like it was an automatic, and it was mostly complete too, which was cool. But this car's sold, and this car's hopefully being built and restored to an extent. Yep. So awesome. Well, that's great. Yeah, this is what the other one was supposed to look like, and then I think there was another 67 over there, right?
There is, yes sir.
Yeah, okay. And then this T-Bird next to it. This one looks like it's seen better days. I'm not sure if it was a sheet metal donor car or what it was.
Yeah, I think it was pretty rusty, and it was just a sheet metal donor car.
Yeah, kind of cut up what you could take on it, and then just whatever else.
Yeah, the 55, 6, 7 T-Birds have taken a downturn, in the last couple years, because obviously as people get older, their interest kind of dies in them, because either because everybody wants to have the cars that they remember when they were a kid, kind of thing. And the people who owned these back then, you know, they've either now owned the car and had them, or several,
Yeah.
or now they feel like they're too old to own them, and even though they still love them, they're too old to either get one or whatever.
Yeah.
Now that they have the money, you know, maybe the age has caught up with them. But
Yep.
But the 55, 67 T-Bird, they've kind of just gone downhill. I've seen them sell for, you know, $150,000, you know, Barrett Jackson kind of thing, you know. But now they're back down into the, you know, 20s and 30s.
Yeah,
So
in some cases, yeah.
They're taking a nosedive. But they're kind of cool because they're two-seaters. You know, they're kind of one of the original 50s sports cars.
I was gonna say they're small little sports cars.
Yeah, like with the Corvettes and such like that.
Yeah.
And it was Ford's idea, and for that, and it just seems like they've dropped off, which is kind of heartbreaking for me, because this is what my dad grew up. I mean, it was his specialty, was 55 to 7 T-Birds.
Yeah, his thing specifically.
So, yeah.
And then it looks like what was that, a later model one?
It's a 59, yeah, 59 convertible. That car is crazy cool, because it looks like they drove it in here and just parked it. It looks like the door's been changed out somewhere over time, you know, but if you walk around and look inside the car, it is just absolutely complete. Pop the hood, it's complete. It's an air-conditioned car too, which is odd, and also has a spotlight. You know, it's a factory spotlight car.
Oh yeah,
which is rare. Air conditioning in these cars was rare, especially in a convertible. You know, but this car's already sold. So the guy's gonna I think he's gonna put this one back on the road too. So.
That's good. Yeah, we're making the joke that this one has a phenomenal interior for sitting outside without a top for so many years. Yeah.
I mean, you look at it, it's like yeah, you could actually probably, but they're probably so far they're probably.
You sit in them, they're gonna crack.
Yeah, they're gonna crack and, you know, fall apart. But
yeah, but it was really cool for sure.
The sun preserves, but yet it destroys.
Yeah, and then two Rancheros. These look like they were twins.
Yeah,
from what I saw.
Yeah, this one here, rest in peace. This one here was my grandfather's car.
Oh, okay.
Like, when I was a kid, he drove this car, and I remember riding in it with him, and then something happened to it, and my dad had bought this car for the motor that's in this car.
Oh,
and,
okay.
So that my grandpa could keep his car, because that's the car he loved. My grandpa actually, he was 93, and he was still shooting pool tournaments, and he was still driving. But at 91 he passed away at 93. But he was crazy, man. He was actually in DMV taking his driver's test that they have to take every year at that age, and he passed out in DMV. And they said, sorry, we're going to take your life. You can't stand there and take a test. You pass out. But he was driving all the way till he was 91.
Wow.
And
these kind of cars.
In these cars.
Yeah. Wow. That's impressive. That's definitely cool for sure. So he had another parts car to fix the one car.
Right.
So every parts car has another car. It was bound for.
Yeah, just like those two Fairlanes.
Yep. And then there's another Torino fastback. This one looked like it was a sheet metal car. It looked like it was wrecked in the back.
Yeah, it was wrecked in the back. You almost want to think it happened when they backed it up against the hill. But I don't know.
You never really know.
That 54 Ford convertible.
Yeah, this one was like a total custom lowrider, like hot rod at one point.
At one point, yeah, it looks like, and it's got a Continental kit on it, which is really weird for 54. You know, it's kind of a rare option. There's some trim moldings and stuff, but I'm sure they're in those boxes that we just saw over there a couple minutes ago.
Yep. Yeah, but it's kind of a shame. You can always see, like, 40, 50 years ago, what was this car, And
it's fairly complete too.
Yeah, this one is. The body didn't look that bad either.
No.
But it was all there. You can see the back end of that car right there is pretty cut up, but still the roof line on that car is pretty flawless actually.
Yeah.
So that was a nice part about that, Don't get rid of it if it's not totally useless. So there's definitely some good parts in that car still. But yeah, you can even see it's got the spare tire part right there. Sitting inside of it. So.
Oh, the trim ring?
Yeah. And sitting where I'm standing was a big block 4-speed version of that car, which I have photos which I'll insert. That was a cool car for sure.
68 though.
Oh, 68, my bad.
That's right.
Yep.
So 68 Torino big block 4-speed, yeah.
Yep, that was an S code, I believe is what it was.
That's correct.
Yep, and then this is the other Galaxy 67. No, this one was
Torino.
Yeah, never mind. Big car.
Yeah. Hey, I lied. This is a Mercury. This is a Mercury.
Montclair.
Yeah, Montclair. Yep. This is 67 Mercury Montclair.
Okay. Yeah, another big car.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a cool one. Yeah, definitely.
Too many to remember.
Yeah, you don't see this too often either.
No, but there's the door right where the engine should be.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then right next to another. I think they call this what, a catfish kind of style, like front ends or whatever it's called.
I don't remember what they did the 64 to 6 Thunderbirds, but 64, 5, and 6, they're almost the same, but they're all different. Like 66 had its own special hood, 64 had its own hood, 65 had its own hood. 66 fenders are different than 64 and 5. 64 is different than 65. So every year they changed a little bit on the 64, 5, and 6 birds, but yet they were pretty much the same. Yeah, they'll same bodies.
Look pretty close. Yeah. Well, we're finally rounding the edge. You know, we got another. What's this? Another Thunderbird.
65.
Yeah, convertible. Yeah.
Thunderbird convertible.
Yeah, this one looks like it has a really good body too, for the most part.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, especially for convertible, it's all still, you know, there. But yeah, this one was probably another project waiting its line, waiting in line. Yeah, waiting its turn for sure. But yeah, I definitely like that wraparound style backseat. That's a cool.
Yeah, this is the back seat that my dad was going to use in that 57 Fairlane.
Oh, okay.
Earlier. He wanted to do it. He wanted to do it where it wrapped around. Yeah. You know, so.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool for sure. I like that idea. So I think we have like 1 or 2 more cars. You can see I was looking. There's like quarter panels on quarter panels up in this like hillside area, and then look like it was that 65 and 6 Mustang roof.
67, 8. Yeah.
Oh, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, a whole roof right there. You know, if a car was wrecked, he'd cut off whatever part would be usable. So there's all these quarter panels, which, you know, are impossible to find now. So it's really smart that they're here, you know, they're at least usable. And then I was noticing the horny little devil. Yeah. That was something cool. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was with that. It's like it was a race car or some. I don't know what it was. There was some sort of story behind it, but nobody really knows.
Yeah, kind of like a old hot rodder that had his drag car, his name, put it on a street driving car or something like that. Yeah.
There's a 61 Sunliner.
Oh, okay.
You know, the 61 Starliners are really popular because of the roof line and the window and stuff, but this is the convertible version of the 61 Starliner.
Yeah. So. Yeah, this one's definitely cool.
This is a big block car too, 390 car.
Oh, okay. Yeah. As you kind of transition, you got all the glass for the cars right here. Luckily, it looks like a pretty good amount of them are labeled, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then hoods on hoods on hoods, doors, more quarter panels.
Yeah.
Brake stuff, control arms. I was noticing there's a lot of Granada brakes over there. You can see them right away. Wheels.
Road wheels. Yeah.
Yeah, spare wheels.
Road wheels is just hard to come by.
Yeah, more quarter panels right there. And then, you know, if there was any sort of brake shoe or brake anything that your dad needed, he didn't have to go buy it, that's for sure.
Control arms, disc brakes.
Yeah.
Spindles.
Bell housings, lots of bell housings. You know, a lot of automatic manual bell housings. I don't even know what half these go to.
Most of them are Y-block stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing that, yep. Another T-Bird roof. And you got axles, and then 9-inch, 9-inch, 8-inch, 7-inch, all sorts of different rear ends. And then you got a couple more Thunderbirds right here. So this one looked like it was a pretty nice convertible as well.
This one was, but this is a pretty rare car. It's rusty as all get out, but this car is a 64 Thunderbird. They called it the tonneau cover option car. They only actually built 51 of these cars. In '63, they had the Roadster. In 1964. Can't remember the name of the company. He used to buy stuff out of the magazine. Anyway, they made the tonneau covers for Ford, and they had a contract with Ford. And in 1963, Ford told them, "Hey, we're not going to build the Roadsters next year." And they said, "Oh yes, you are. We have a contract. And you have to build 51 more." And so they ended up making 51 tonneau cover option 64 convertibles. Particulars 64 made with a tonneau cover option.
So it's that specific style top?
Yeah, exactly. It's a convertible, but it has a cover that goes over the back seat to make it a 2-seater. It's a fiberglass cover.
Got it.
And I have a 64 just like this, but mine's black on black. So it's a black top, black car, black top, black interior. And same exact thing, 51 made. Not all of them came, most of them didn't come with the actual wire wheels, the Kelsey Hayes wire wheels. It was an option from Ford, even though when you got the Roadster package for 63, you got the Roadster wire wheels. Yeah. You know, the Kelsey Hayes wire wheels. These in the 64, it was actually an option, but these were the deluxe hubcaps with the spinners. In 1964. So this car is rare, but you can see that it's pretty rusty.
Yeah, even for a California. I mean, I'm assuming it's been out here for a while, but
yeah, it's been sitting here a long time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But it's a rare car. But you know, just whether it's worth it or not. Now, a tonneau cover for one of these, I put one in storage yesterday. It came off of a yellow and black car.
I saw that. And
just the tonneau themselves, my dad paid more for the tonneau than he did for this whole car.
Wow.
You know, so the tonneaus are worth about $5,000.
Oh my God.
For if you have an original car.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what I've seen him sell for.
That is insane.
Yeah.
For a fiberglass cover, wow.
Yeah, the cover over the back, I was driving with my dad in the black one down in San Diego, and there were There were 2 African-American kids playing tetherball around a stop sign in the gas lab district down there. Pulled up to the stop sign that they were playing tetherball around. I don't know, I was probably 7 years old, 6 years old. And they started running inside. They're like, Mom, 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 it's the Batmobile. It's the Batmobile.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's kind of got that, it's got that era, that aura to it, and it had the tonneau cover that went over the back seat that made it a 2-seater, and they thought it was the Batmobile. And I remember driving with my dad thinking, oh, Dad, we're driving a Batmobile, cool. You know, they thought it was the Batmobile.
Yeah.
You know, but,
oh, yeah, that's definitely something else. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing until, you know, like you guys pointed out and showed me what that was. That was like a big pointer, like, you see that right there? This is what that is. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know that existed. So that's crazy. But yeah, it looks like there's another, you know, T-Bird right there. It's another
55, yeah, it's wrecked, you know. It was in the building at one point, and I think my dad was making room for you know, other cars, and just pushed it out the back door.
Looks like you got bumpers back there. I see a 64 Galaxy. A bumper right there. There's some more hoods, quarter panels, and bumpers galore. Bumpers all the way to here, and then that entire area is all bumpers from anything from what, you know, early 50s all the way to like 70s.
Yeah, 68 Galaxies. There's some 70 Cougar ones in there, and some about 61 to 3 Birds and 55 6 Fords. There's a 57 with the double rib right there. It's a 57 Fairlane, you know, like that black car and the convertible. But most of them were kind of marked, which helps good. 61 to 3 Lincoln, you know. So
yeah, it definitely helps. Instead of just a big piece of chrome.
To figure out what they are unless you just know the
all the body lines these things have. For sure.
Yeah, 71 Torinos.
Even the floor pans right here.
Oh, 67 Bird.
Yeah, Bird.
Some more rear ends.
Axles, drive shafts. Lots of drive shafts. Every drive shaft you could ever imagine. Another quarter panel. Yeah, absolutely incredible. This is kind of walk down here, you can see we kind of come full circle. There's all the cars where we just were, but you can see it's just an immaculate collection of stuff. More bumpers right here, you know. Anything that was usable or even just a teeniest bit usable, you know, was never thrown away, or it was, you know, fully stripped to where everything that was usable was still on it. It was saved before it was scrapped after that. But yeah, it's something else for sure. A great thing that you're saving as much as you can, you know, and I know it's hard. So it's rough, yeah, it's definitely rough. But you know, I really wanted to say a personal thank you from me and everybody else that's watching it. You get to share this. You're allowing me to share this with everybody. It really means a lot. The documentation is something I hope you can cherish for the rest of your life. And
I really appreciate you doing it, you know, because I'm a single daddy of 2 toddlers, you know. They're 8 and 6 now, and you know, they've been up here, but they were too young to remember it. And this here will give my kids a perspective on who their grandfather was.
Yeah, so you get a whole lifetime of stuff around us, and it's just something else.
And they'll see that through me too, because I'm just a chip off the old block.
Yeah. Yeah, well, hey, you're doing your part. You're saving what you can from your dad, you know. I respect the heck out of that.
Yeah, we bleed blue.
Yeah, no, you do. So, well, awesome, man. Well, thank you a bunch. I really do appreciate it.
And when you go through the building, I think my sister's gonna be with you when you go through.
Be my tour guide.
Yeah, she'll be your tour guide through the building. So,
awesome. Well,
that'll be great.
Yeah, that'll be great. Our next endeavor will be inside the building. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did go on to enjoy today's video. If you did, please leave a like on the video. Comment down below, you know, anything specific that you saw that you enjoyed. Share it with a friend. I know a lot of you guys want to see this kind of stuff. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And massive thank you to my friend Rod for sharing this with me.
Thanks, everybody.
I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.